Hello. 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 Hello students, welcome to Trunkie Academy again. Okay, and today we are going to start a new chapter, and that is the reproduction. Okay, in just 1 second. That means we are talking about the chapter number 8, that is how do organisms reproduce. Okay, so in class 9 we have studied about little bit about the reproduction, and here we will study as per your syllabus, and that is what is reproduction, what are the different types of reproduction, okay, what are different examples of reproduction, and how reproduction takes place in different plants and animals. Okay, so we'll start with that. And reproduction. Okay. Reproduction is the process by which organisms multiply in number and they increase their populations. So this is a simple definition. So, okay, so it is the process by which all organisms multiply in number and increase their population Okay, so they are continuing their existence in this world, and they are multiplying, and they are okay by this process of reproduction. There are two main types that we have already studied in previous classes also. Okay, so reproduction are two types. One is the asexual, and another is the sexual reproduction. Okay, in case of asexual reproduction, only one or single parent is involved, and there is no mixing of gamete. In case of sexual reproductions, the gametes are fused, and then there is fertilization and the formation of zygote. Okay, so we'll start with the asexual reproduction or asexual reproduction. This is the number 1 and this is the number 2. The types, okay, the two types. Now, asexual reproduction. This is a method of reproduction that involves only one organism. or only one individual organism. Okay. A single organism reproduce two or multiple organism of its own. Okay, maybe one organism will divide. Okay, in case of unicellular organism by binary fission, we observe that one organism is divided and then it forms two organisms or more than two also. Okay, so that is asexual reproduction. And in asexual reproduction, only single parent, okay, is involved, and there is the same set of gene comes to the offspring, okay, the new progeny. Now, in case of sexual reproduction, reproduction that involves one female involves one male and one female. Okay. They produce okay, sex cells or gametes. Okay. So male and female produce male and female, the parents produce sex cells or gametes. Okay. These gametes fuse during fertilization and form the, so there is fusion of gametes. That means a male gamete fused with a female gamete, and this is called the fertilization. The process is called, this is the fertilization. Okay. Then after fertilization, zygote is formed, and then the development of embryo and the individual organism. So this is how the sexual reproduction takes place. Now we will study about the different types of asexual reproduction and different the examples of the organisms that that undergo the asexual reproductions. Okay, so examples or types of asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction. Okay, the number one is there. Fission. Is before I write, number one is the fission. So we will write with the fission topic. Fission fission is an asexual mode of reproduction. Fission is asexual reproduction. Okay. That is common in unicellular. That is common, and you can say that is most of the unicellular organisms, they undergo this asexual reproduction. Common in unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms. Okay. So where the cells are dividing into two and forming the two new daughter cells. Okay, progeny. So that is found in paramecium, amoeba, or some other unicellular organisms. Okay. So when fission occurs, after fission, okay, after binary, so it is the binary fission, means dividing into two. There are multiple fission also where the cells are once unicellular cell is divided into multiple cells, more than two. Okay, so results after binary fissions or two daughter cells are formed. Two daughter cells are formed. Okay, and the example is the paramecium. Okay, this is the common method of the reproduction in this is paramecium. Now, when there is a cell, for example, like this, okay, I'm irregularly drawing, like in amoeba we find, and this is the nucleus. So, what will happen? This when undergoing fission, so these will start forming, constricting, and the central region, somewhere, and then it will continue to constrict. Okay, and then there is the elongation of the nucleus. Okay, so nucleus will also form a dumbbell shape, and then again in the next moment it will again then it will be forming like this, and it will be more constricted, and it will be like okay, and then the cells will be almost completely divided. Okay, and nucleus will come divided, and in the next stage these will have the new daughter cells. Two new daughter cells will be formed. Okay, so this is called the binary fission, where unicellular organisms are using this method of reproductions by dividing their cell body, okay, body cell into two daughter cells. Okay, now this is how okay, so this is the parent. For example, if this is a parent amoeba, and if this is the elongated nucleus, you can say where we can see elongated nucleus, and also cytoplasm is also constricting towards the end, elongated nucleus. Okay, then division of nucleus, Okay, so mainly the nucleus is dividing and taking the cytoplasmic portions apart, and then forming a new cell. Okay, so then the two daughter cells are forming. Okay, this is called the binary fission in amoeba. So this is the picture, this is the diagram actually, binary fission in amoeba. Okay, so amoeba we must write with A with capital and must underline, because this is the scientific name. Okay. Now another next after fission is the asexual reproduction. Mode of asexual reproduction is the budding. The next another one is the budding. Okay, this is another method, asexual method of reproduction, by which some organisms reproduce, and this is called budding. So a small some bird-like structure, some swollen-like structure formed on the surface of the individual's body, and that will grow in size, and ultimately they will detach from the parent body, and then it will grow into a new individual. So we'll write so a type of asexual reproduction in which a small cyst-like structure, okay, some swollen node-like or cyst-like structure is formed on the parent's body. Which gives rise to new individual. Okay. Now try to understand this point. Or some structure, for example, in Hydra it's very common. So Hydra structure is like this. There's a tentacle. Okay, they have got tentacles like this. Okay, the body, and then there is the swollen body, almost cylindrical type of body is there. They have okay. So this will form some kind of structure. Okay, so what will happen in the next stage? This bud, okay, small node-like or cyst-like structure will grow. So what will happen again in the next stage? Okay, this will again grow little bigger and also form tentacle-like structure. Okay, and then this will detach from the parent body. So in the next stage, it will detach and it will form the new individual. Okay, so that is called budding. So a small bud or some node or some cyst-like structure is formed on the surface of the parent. Okay, and that will grow and ultimately detach from the parent body, and then it will grow into a new individual, and this is called budding. Okay, and this is the best example is the budding in Hydra. Hydra, okay, they reproduce asexually by budding. So Hydra, they reproduce like this. Okay, so now another important method by which organisms reproduce, asexual method, that is the regeneration. Okay, so from the name itself you can understand regeneration, to regenerate. Okay, so regeneration, and another is the fragmentation. Okay, so next is the regeneration and fragmentation. Okay, so regeneration is the process of growing back, for example, some lost organ, okay, or body parts, okay, but again, example lizard, from there, then they will regenerate. Okay, so regeneration is the process. Regeneration is the process of growing back or growing back the lost. Okay, the lost part is regeneration, not going back the lost organ or part of the body, or part of the body by the organism. Example is by the organism. So they develop the from the law. So fragmentation is another process. Fragmentation is the process by which an organism gets fragmented. That means they are divided into pieces, fragmented, and then each fragment develop into a new individual. Okay, so into a small fragmented into small fragments or pieces. Okay, small pieces, and each piece grow into a whole new organism. Grow into a whole new organism. Okay, so here you understand this. Regeneration and fragmentation. Regeneration means when the last part is regenerated, it's formed, they develop, Okay, the lost part or some body part is lost. In fragmentation, for example, if we cut, the animal will not die sometimes, so some parts, okay, depending. Okay, so that animal will develop or that organism will develop that lost part. That is the regeneration. In case of fragmentation, the animal is broken into or they divide into small pieces, fragments, okay, and each fragment, each piece then develop into a new individual organism. That is the fragmentation. Okay, so these are the different method of asexual reproduction. As I told you, the first we studied about the binary fissions, then we studied about the budding, okay, and then regeneration and fragmentation, and another next is the spore formation. There are some organisms, even the fungi, they reproduce by the forming the spores. Okay, so another one is the next is the spore formation. Spore formation. Okay, reproduction by forming spores. Organisms such as fungi make spores and that can grow into complete new individual, okay, and when dispersed from their fruiting body. So organisms such as fungi make spores that can grow into complete new individual. When dispersed from the fruiting body. Fruiting body means the parent body where the spores are there, the fruiting body, main body. Okay, so that means such as fungi. Okay, the organism like fungi, they make spores, they produce spores, and when these are released, okay, and they are dispersed, okay, in the favorable condition, they germinate and they develop into a new individual organism. So this is the spore formation. Okay, so they are then developing into new. And another is the next about the asexual reproduction, that is the vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation. This is also utilized for artificial reproduction, reproduction of growing of plants, some economically important plants by artificial means. Okay, so that is the vegetative propagation. Is this the process propagation? Okay, that means reproduction or growing of new individual organism from vegetative part, means root, leaves, and stems. Okay, so vegetative part of the plant is vegetative parts of plant is which that is the leaf, okay, not reproductive part, not flower. Okay, so leaf, then roots, okay, and stems. So from these parts, if the plant is growing, okay, so that is called a vegetative propagation. Okay, so you can see here. This point number one. This is a type of asexual reproduction seen in plants. This is a type of asexual reproduction observed in plants. Okay, not in animals. Now, number 2 point is vegetative part, like vegetative, like I told you, vegetative part, like root, stem, leaves, okay, etc. Give rise to new plant. Give rise to new plant. Okay. So another point is there. In case of leaf, okay, from leaf the new plant is grown. That example is the bryophyllum. This is important for exam. Okay, bryophyllum. Okay, you have studied in class 9 also. Bryophyllum. From the stem, it is turmeric and ginger. From the stem, it is the example is the turmeric, okay, and ginger. Rhizome, okay. Rhizome is a modified stem, ginger. Then a runner or a stolon. This is the strawberry. Okay. Bulbs. Example, onion and lily. So these are the different. Okay, from the onion. Okay, onion is actually the scaly leaves are there. Onion is fine. That is not the reproductive part. That is the vegetative part. Why? Because these are the modified leaves. Okay, or it's modified. There's bulbs. Modified stem. Okay, modified stem, and that gives rise to another new individual plant body. So from the bulbs of the onion. Okay, in case of lily plants also. So these are the vegetative parts of the plants which form a new individual plant body, and that is called vegetative propagation. Okay, so growing vegetatively. Okay. Now this was all about the asexual reproduction, binary fission, then the budding, regeneration, fragmentation, spore formation, and vegetative propagation. I told you that vegetative propagation is the forming or developing of new individual plant body from vegetative parts of the plant. It is observed in the plants, not in animals, and vegetative parts of the plants like roots, stems, and leaves, they give rise to a new individual plant body, new individual organism. So that is our plant body, that is called the vegetative propagation. Now we will study about the sexual reproduction. Okay. Now comes to the sexual reproduction. Now, in the beginning, as I told you that sexual reproduction requires fusion of two gametes, male and female. Sexual reproduction. Okay. So before we will start with this, we must know that there are two types of cell division as there. Because knowing this is very important, because understanding this sexual reproduction, formation of gamete, because there is fusion of male and female gamete. To understand this, we also know the types of cell division. There are two types of cell division. Cell division are of two types. Okay, understand this cell division. Okay, one is the mitosis, and another is the meiosis. Okay. This is the mitosis and another is the meiosis. This is called equational division, or equal number of daughter cells, equational division. And this is the reductional division. Okay, so in case of the mitosis, takes place in somatic cells. This takes place in somatic cells. Takes place in somatic cells. Means this cell division takes place in somatic cells. Like I told in plant cells, the vegetative part means root, leaves, and stems. Likewise, in case of animals, all the cells are tissues that is present in the skins, muscles, glands, all other organs, except the gonads, reproductive part, testis and ovary. Okay? So these all are the somatic cells. So we find this mitosis division in the somatic cells, okay, not in gonads. Maintains chromosome number. Yes, there are 2n number of chromosomes are present. Maintains chromosome number. Maintains chromosome number. Now, maintains chromosome number means when we say there are 23 pairs of chromosomes in our body, okay, or in our cells of cell of the body, 23 pairs, okay. So it means that 46 chromosomes are there, okay. So if you take out one cell from any somatic, it will take any somatic cell from our body, that will have 46 chromosomes, okay. But when the gametes are formed, there will be only 23. Single set. So that is going to fuse with another single set, female gamete, male gamete. That then it becomes normal 2n number. This is called 23 pairs. So 23 pairs. Okay, means 23 plus 23. Okay, this is called n plus n is equal to 2n. So this 2n is called diploid. It's called diploid number. Okay. So when it is only 23, this is called n number and this is called haploid. Okay. So haploid number of chromosomes. Haploid is found in the gametes. Okay. But in case of the somatic cells, there are two sets. I mean, in pairing, 46 are found. Okay. Then in mitosis, produce two daughter cells. Produce two daughter cells. And diploid, that is diploid in nature. That means they will have the number of chromosomes as cell as parent. Okay, but in case of gonads, when gamete formation takes place, there is reduction. There is reduction in the chromosome number. Okay, so only single set, 23 from 46, it will become 23 only. Okay, now required, this division is required for asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction. Development and growth. Okay. Cell replacement and regeneration. Okay. Now these are the these are the function and requirement, you can say, where, or you can say where these mitosis takes place, on which occasion. It takes place for asexual reproduction, okay, or development and growth, where the cell division takes place. For example, there is where there is any damage, that for repair of that damage, mitosis takes place. Okay, for contributing muscle mass, for growth, mitosis takes place. For cell replacement, the cell is damaged and new cells to be produced, mitosis takes place. Okay, there is lost part in animals and new, then it has to develop and regenerate. Then the mitosis takes place. Okay, but in case of meiosis, it's not like this. Meiosis contains only haploid number, and this there are some different case in case of the meiosis. Okay, so in case of meiosis, it is called reductional division. Okay, not equation. Takes place in sex cells, not takes place in sex cells. Place in sex cells. Okay, that means in gonads. Gonads means testis and ovary. Okay. Reduce the number of chromosomes by half. Reduce the number of chromosomes by half. I mean, the chromosome number becomes half. So from 2n it becomes n. Okay, so it becomes haploid, from diploid to haploid number of chromosomes. Okay. This is required for sexual reproduction and gamete formation. Required for sexual reproduction and gamete formation. That is, or you can say sexual reproduction. That is gamete formation. Gamete formation. Okay. Sexual reproduction means required sexual reproduction means for the gamete formation. When there will be formation of gametes, then only sexual reproduction will take place. So it means that this meiosis is required for sexual reproduction, because in sexual reproduction there has to be formation of gametes, and this formation of gametes takes place by meiosis, by meiotic division or meiosis. Okay. So this was about the two types of cell division. Okay, so why I discussed and told you about the cell division, because this concept is important while studying about the reproduction. Okay, so if you know the concept about the mitosis and meiosis in background, you've already this background knowledge, so it will be easy for you to understand the reproduction. Okay, the reproductive process that will sexual reproduction. Okay, so now we'll come to the reproductive system. Okay, so in the reproductive system there are two, and the male and female reproductive system. So we will start with the male reproductive system. Male reproductive system. Now the male reproductive system or male reproductive organ in males is a pair of testes. So main organ, okay, in males, reproductive organ is in pair. Reproductive organ is in pairs. Okay, and that is a pair of testes. Pair of testes. Okay, they produce male sex cells, that is the sperm. They produce male sex cells. Okay, and that is the sperm or spermatozoa sperms. Okay, and also produce male sex hormone. Male sex hormone. Okay, that is the testosterone. Testosterone. This is one of the most important hormones. Okay, responsible for male characteristic features. Okay, in the body. So testosterone is the male sex hormone. Okay, so in case of this male reproductive organ, the main organ is the testis. Okay, and they are present in the skinny pouch, sac-like structure. Okay, and that's called scrotal pouch or scrotum. So testes are present inside the scrotum or scrotal pouch, scrotum, okay, which is outside the abdomen. Okay, this scrotum or test hanging a pouch-like structure where the testes are present, a pair of testes. This is outside the abdomen because the formation and maturation of sperms requires the temperature a little lower than the body temperature. Okay, So that is the reason scrotum is present or testis is present outside the abdominal cavity, not within the abdomen. Okay, so that is one of the important point. Okay, there are some other accessory glands also. We'll discuss that also. There is a special kind of structure called seminiferous tubule in the testis. In the testis, there is a structure called seminiferous tubule. The testis consists of seminiferous tubules. Okay, and this produces the sperm. Okay, and these are the they produce it where the sperms are formed. Okay, the sperms are formed. So you can say these seminiferous are actually the structural and functional unit of testis, and they produce the sperms and or you can say the male sex cells, or you can say male gametes or male gamete. The sperms are the male gamete, so male gamete, or so this is the about the seminiferous tubules. This is the functional part or the structural unit or functional unit of the testis, which is present within the testis and produce the sperm cell or sex cells. Okay. Then accessory glands are also there. Okay, accessory means apart from the main organ, apart from the main gland, there are some accessory glands. Okay, they are responsible for nourishing the sperm, growing and maturation of the sperm. Okay, formation takes place by seminiferous tubules, but maturation are there and their maintenance is done by some other accessory glands or extra glands. And there are several, like the organs are prostate gland. Okay, accessory glands. Sorry, accessory glands. These are, there is a seminal vesicle. Okay, another is the prostate gland. Prostate gland. Okay. So secretion of these seminal vesicles or prostate gland, they are responsible for nourishing, okay, and maturation, okay, maturation of the sperm cells. The sperm cell that is produced by the seminiferous tubules in the testis. Okay. So they also plays, and actually they are actually contributing to the formation of semen. So okay, sperm is only a single cell, okay, but the major portion in the semen is the extra spermatozoa material. Like sperms are also there, but apart from there, the other liquids are also present. Okay, so sperm is only a single cell. It's a microscopic cell, but the semen that come out of the white fluid that comes out as semen from the penis is the semen, and that is that contains so many other types of important substances such as nutrients of the fructose and other substances, also mineral elements also. Okay, so these contribute to the formation of semen, to the formation of semen. Okay, and penis is the copulatory organ. Penis is the copulatory organ that is inserted inside the vagina of the female partner for coitus or sexual intercourse to release the semen into the body of the female. So main reproductive part is the testis, which is present in the sac-like structure called scrotum and scrotal pouch, and scrotum or testis is outside the abdominal cavity because maturation is for the sperm requires a temperature little lower than the body temperature, so it is outside. And seminiferous tubules are the structural and functional unit of testis where sperms are formed. Then the nourishment and maturation and the formation of semen takes place with the help of the seminal vesicle and prostate gland. Okay, and penis is a copulatory organ. Okay, So these are all about the male reproductive system in the human. Okay. Again, tomorrow we'll study, continue with this, and we'll study about the female reproductive system. Okay. And as I have told you earlier also, that we will be sending the DPP, daily practice paper or problem, that you need to go to your academic booster and click on the resources. Then you will find the link called writing material, okay, on the left hand side, and then click on this writing material and download this DPP, and you solve these questions, okay, solve these questions and send back to us for evaluations. Okay, so thank you for listening today and joining. Okay, so tomorrow again we'll meet at the same time, okay, with another topic. Okay, so till then, goodbye, thank you for listening. Okay, now you may